I, a 19-year-old female, have been dating my boyfriend, a 19-year-old male, for almost 3 years now. It has only been since this third year that we have had troubles in our relationship, working out boundaries, what is acceptable with other women, etc., which usually ends in arguments and me being called controlling. Last week, my boyfriend moved to university, so for that week, I basically tried to give him space to socialize with others and make friends. However, we had a couple of arguments leading up to Friday, probably the couple of days before or the day before, I don't know. On Friday night, I asked him if we could call, to which he didn't respond until 3 a.m. saying I could tell he was drunk, that he has been busy, that he is sorry, and that he loves me. No biggie. However, on Friday, I realized while I was alone waiting for him to text me or call me that he has never, not since like the first year of our relationship, texted me first, and recently I have been cutting off friends for this exact reason. So I decided after that I would attract, not chase, So I decided to not text him since Friday to see when he is going to get the message and text me. It is now Tuesday at 2 a.m. and I have heard nothing. However, today I got a friend request from someone who is female and is at his university, and she replies to one of my stories and we start just chatting to each other, small talk. I assumed that maybe she just wanted to make conversation with me. I had heard that my boyfriend had mentioned to his flatmates that he has a girlfriend and showed them a picture, so maybe she just wanted to get to know me. Whatever. So like an hour or half an hour goes by, and she asks me all of a sudden if she can talk to me about something important, to which I'm like, yes, of course, go for it. Me literally saying we are best friends now, of course, you can. She then proceeds to show me a photo of my boyfriend in this other girl's pajamas and tells me that apparently he met this girl at a frat party, not in the same accommodation, and that they got very drunk and went back to her place. He showered at her place, put on her pajamas, and slept in the same bed together. And apparently, since then, he has been acting weird towards everyone and an arsehole towards everyone. This girl who texted me said she got weird vibes from him from the start. However, she wanted to say that they don't know for sure if anything intimacy happened. However, I don't think it is even about that. It is the fact he broke my trust in the first place, because literally a couple of weeks before today, I had set some boundaries about how it is not okay for him to sleep in a bed with another girl, or even go in a bed. No cuddling, no nothing with another girl, because that is my boundary, and he should respect it, which he told me he saw no problem in it at all, but told me that he wouldn't anyway. Anyway, apparently, this girl has a boyfriend too, but the thing is she is goth, and that is his type too. He always tells me I would look good with a septum. He loves me wearing black. I do witchy stuff too, but this girl was really goth, and that threw me off as well, because if that is what he is attracted to, then how can I believe that it was all just innocent? Apparently, when the flatmates asked him about it, the girl he slept with said that they slept together, as in just slept. And he responded with, it wasn't like that. The fact he has been ignoring me for 3 days has been giving me major anxiety anyway, but I don't know if the point of trusting him for not having intimacy is the same as crossing a boundary. He crossed a boundary I put in place, yet when I ask about it tomorrow, he could say for sure that nothing intimacy happened, but I will never certainly know. Also, why didn't he get an Uber? Why did he shower at her place? Why is he wearing her clothes? Am I overreacting? Or should I break up because I am so in love with him, but I don't know if I can ever trust him again? Now for an update. So I spoke to this girl that messaged me, and she told me that he had been active all day on social media, read a group chat message at 9 a.m., had accepted her friend request on Snapchat, and had replied to her, hi. I practically begged her to say something to him, but she basically didn't want to. I also never heard anything from the girl that slept with him, so I don't know where that plan went. Eventually, she agreed to get him to talk to me, so she told him to text me, and wow, what a surprise, he finally replies to my "we need to talk" with a yeah. Then follows it up with an excuse about how he needs to go to Tesco first. I told him to man up and speak to me now. I immediately posed the question, without even saying who it was or what night it was, Did you have intimacy with her? Yes or no? To which he replied, no. That was it, laughing out loud. So then I called him, and we spoke. I yelled basically while crying about what he had done, but apparently he didn't know that's why I was breaking up with him, and was like, I thought we were going to break up anyway, because you haven't messaged me. That was the whole point of my experiment in the first place. Anyway, I said you cheated on me. Whether it was intimacy or not doesn't matter. You broke down a boundary, and I can't trust you, and I am breaking up with you. He responds with, okay, and I am like, really? That is all you have to say? Are you not upset at all? You have no remorse at all? And he just tells me it was platonic and that she just offered the bed to him with her in it still, which is like, I don't care what you say to me anymore. That is all I needed to hear. And that he thought the relationship was going to end by the end of the week anyway because of all the arguments we have had this year. And he thought I was still upset about the argument we had on Friday or something. And that is why I hadn't spoken to him. I am like, so wait, you didn't even think that I was breaking up with you over this girl, but you knew I was talking about this girl I hadn't even mentioned the name of. Anyway, basically, we broke up and we agreed that maybe next year we would try to begin again as friends, if that is even possible anymore. I told him to have a nice life and get the full university experience that he clearly so desperately wants, and left it at that because what the heck. He also basically didn't care. I could tell in his voice he didn't give a flip. He was acting impatient at the beginning, like sarcastic yeses and whatever, but said that he was just processing the breakup. That is why he doesn't look like he cares. I'm not buying it. Anyway, time to focus on my degree. My goal is a first. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Girl, I'm so sorry this has happened to you. Firstly, it is extremely disrespectful to you because he has no respect for the boundaries you set with him. Also, him not contacting you for 3 days is a terrible sign alone. I can completely understand everything you are feeling and the anxiety this would be causing you, and you absolutely should not be putting up with this. I would personally end it. I know it's hard, but do you really want to be in a relationship where your trust has been broken? You deserve someone who loves and worships you, someone who doesn't make you doubt if they are honest, and certainly someone who values and honors your boundaries. Sending hugs. Comment 2. I wouldn't be with someone who I'd have to explain why it is wrong to sleep in another girl's bed, shower at her place, and wear her pajamas. Also, I'd feel like he's absolutely clowning me by having his actions lead to some girl from his university texting me to be a girl's girl. When other people who aren't close to you text you about your significant other, they're definitely not acting right. If he turns it around on you, then don't waste effort on continuing the conversation and just be silent. He knows it's wrong. He just doesn't want to step up and admit it, because it will then lead to him needing to put effort into changing and acting like he's attached. Stay safe. Now, for the update. Almost a week since the ex and I broke up. I've been trying to focus on my studies, just pushing aside any thoughts of him. We had a good time, and it was just easier to get through the day when I didn't think about it. No contact, no drama, just me, my books, and this massive pile of assignments I have to finish before the semester ends. Yesterday, I got a message from a classmate about a party happening at this local club next Saturday. She was inviting me to join her and other classmates. I was like, sure, why not? It'll be good to hang out with my friends and just forget about life for a bit. But then she told me that my ex is also going to the party. I don't know why she felt the need to tell me that. Maybe she thought I wouldn't go if he was there or something. At first, it kind of made me hesitate, but then I thought, heck no, I'm not gonna let him dictate my plans. I decided to go to the party anyway, just to show that I've moved on. He can hang out with his new friends all he wants. I'm not bothered. Yesterday, I arrived at the club with a few friends from my course. The atmosphere was so loud, like really, really loud. Everyone seemed to be having fun. That's what you do at clubs, right? I don't go to clubs much, so I really have no idea what to expect. I did my best to enjoy myself, dancing, chatting, and just trying to forget my worries. Then suddenly, I spotted my ex across the room with a group of friends, and and he looked different. He looked more carefree than before, and I didn't know why that stung a bit. One of my friends nudged me, suggesting we go dance, and I just followed them because I didn't want to stand there looking like an idiot. While dancing, I glanced over and saw a girl hugging my ex. I mean, a hug is just a hug, right? But when I looked closer, I realized it was the same girl who sent me the friend request last week. At that moment, I felt a pang of anger, but I tried to focus on dancing. I really did. After a few minutes, I couldn't take it anymore and decided to step outside for some fresh air. When I went outside, I ran into another classmate who offered to chat for a bit. We talked about the upcoming exams, but then the conversation drifted back to my ex. Apparently, rumors had been going around that he was dating the girl from the party. I brushed it off, thinking it was just gossip. I mean, the party was still ongoing, and it was just a rumor, right? After some time, I headed back inside, hoping to forget about what I saw earlier. As the night went on, I ran into a mutual friend who looked shocked to see me. She pulled me aside and said we needed to talk. Who talks at a party? She looked really serious, and I was getting worried. She then revealed that my ex was seen kissing the girl in a corner of the club. At that moment, I just wanted to cry. I decided to leave the party early, feeling overwhelmed. On my way out, I bumped into my ex at the exit. He greeted me with a casual smile, like nothing had happened, and I was just like, "Are you kidding me right now?" I confronted him about the rumors and asked if he was actually dating the girl. Like, dude, seriously? He just laughed it off, saying it wasn't serious. But I felt my anger rising. I couldn't just let it go. We started arguing about boundaries again, and I brought up some of his past mistakes. He then accused me of being paranoid, which just fueled the argument even more. I finally told him I was done with all this back and forth crap, and he just shrugged, saying he didn't think I cared anymore. I mean, didn't he break up with me? I don't even know anymore. He just seemed to enjoy messing with my head. Then my phone buzzed with a notification from the girl, asking to talk. I was like, why the heck not? Let's add her to the mess. I decided to meet her to get some clarity on the situation. We agreed to meet at a nearby coffee shop the next day. This morning, I arrived at the coffee shop and found the girl waiting, looking nervous as heck. She explained that she didn't know about me until recently, and we talked about the events of the past week, just trying to piece things together. She then revealed that my ex had told her we were broken up. I thanked her for being honest and left the coffee shop, feeling like a total mess. My life is so freaking complicated right now, and I don't know how to deal with it. To answer a few questions, my ex and I haven't spoken since the coffee shop meeting. I left feeling confused and upset, needing some time to think. The girl and I agreed to keep communicating to understand what my ex was doing. She was as baffled as I was, especially since he downplayed our history to her. He seemed to be looking for a distraction from his problems. I found out he didn't even tell her we had a 3-year relationship. Despite his claims, they're not officially dating yet, which she was disappointed about. I'm trying to focus on myself and my studies. Am I the idiot for tracking my wife's location and confronting her about her work buddy? To try and keep it short, my wife, who is 39 years old, had an online affair about 2 years ago. Recently, she started exhibiting a lot of similar cheating signs, staying out later than she said she would, being unreachable for periods of time, having to work more and more, and being on her phone all the time, the same old story. Well, I am 41 years old, and I think she forgot that I can see her location on Snapchat. On Friday night, she was at the gym longer than I expected. I called several times with no response. I was starting to get worried, so I thought to check Snapchat, and it said she was in a completely different part of town. When she got home, she told me she was ignoring her phone and just working out because she was upset about a fight with her parents. This was a plausible scenario. Her phone has also been acting odd, something with the SIM card, so I thought maybe the location was just not accurate, but I never mentioned it to her. On Sunday, she was again gone for long periods of time to run errands and meet friends for brunch. Something just seemed odd. Yesterday, Monday, she typically works remotely but will usually go to Starbucks to work for a while. Out of curiosity, I looked at her location again. same place as on Friday. I tried to FaceTime her, but it was declined, and she texted that she was having a work meeting. She didn't call me back for hours. Today, she was supposed to go to the gym after work. I was leaving work to pick up our son from daycare and checked her location. Same place again. The gym is sort of on my way home, so I took a little detour and her car wasn't there. I tried calling again after picking up our son, and she said she was at the gym. This just happened. I don't know what to do from here. Do I confront her when she gets home? Do I wait for more proof so she can't make an excuse? I'm sure if I checked her phone, I'd find a ton of evidence. Do I just call a lawyer tomorrow? Help me out. My heart is racing. Now for an update. Sorry for the confusion. I was upset when I wrote the original post and also wrote it in a hurry. To be clear, she said she was at the gym, but her location on Snapchat said otherwise. I went to the gym because it was on my way to pick up my child, and I could then at least confirm if she was there or not. I did not go to the Snapchat location because I needed to watch my kids, and it was a good 20 minutes away. Hopefully, that clears some things up. I looked at her location on Google Maps. It's an urban area with lots of apartments. I'm actually pretty familiar with the area. There are restaurants and cafes in the area too, but I don't know why she would lie if she was just meeting a friend at the cafe. She came home shortly after I had posted. I said nothing. I don't think I'm going to just yet. I'm still not sure what exactly I'm going to do. I believe the proper thing is to talk to a lawyer, get some more evidence, then confront her. It hurts so much to be here. I came to Reddit because I truly feel like I have no one else to talk to. I appreciate the advice. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Before you confront, you need to determine what you want. Do you want definitive proof? Do you want the upper hand in the divorce process? Do you want to expose her betrayal to your family and friends? Before you do anything else, figure out what you want, and then consult an attorney before you take any action. Get their advice and let them help you achieve your goals. Comment 2. 1. Take your name off of all joint credit cards that have debt. 2. When she says she's at the gym but her phone says otherwise, go to the place where she actually is. Let the man, and it is a man, she is cheating. Know you won't leave until your wife comes out and speaks to you. When she comes out, let her know you are filing for divorce. Now for the update. 2 days after my last update, Olivia's behavior was still off. I don't want to say she was acting like a totally different person, but she was constantly on her phone, leaving home at odd hours, and just seemed really distracted. So I decided to check her social media accounts. They had been pretty quiet lately, so I thought maybe I could find something there. I noticed a photo of her tagged at a restaurant in town. It was kind of weird because she hadn't mentioned going there at all, and I knew she didn't like wine. I figured she was just at a friend's house, like she said when she got home. She wasn't acting weird. I wasn't buying it, though. I started tracking her phone location again, and to my surprise, she was at that same restaurant later in the week. Now, I was really starting to get suspicious. That Friday, my parents invited us over for dinner. I figured it would be a good chance to see if Olivia would mention anything about the restaurant. During dinner, my dad brought up the wine tasting, asking if we had gone. Olivia's face changed. She quickly said we were busy that day and avoided the topic. I was hoping she'd bring it up herself. After dinner, I noticed Olivia was texting someone in the corner. When I asked her who it was, she changed the subject. Now, I was really curious. I decided to check her phone while she was in the bathroom. I know that's a total invasion of privacy, but I felt like I needed to know what was going on. I found messages from a contact saved as work buddy. The messages were flirty and included plans to meet up. That's when I started feeling like I really needed to confront her. The next day, I planned to talk to Olivia about the messages, but she texted me saying she was going to help a friend move. Just like that, she was out of the house again. That night, I went to a bar with some coworkers to take my mind off things, and I ran into my brother. He asked how things were with Olivia. I mentioned the restaurant and the suspicious messages, and he suggested I talk to her directly without waiting. I returned home, but Olivia was already in bed and didn't respond to my attempts to start a conversation. The next week, I confronted her about the messages, and she insisted they were harmless. I told her I didn't believe her and that I needed more honesty in our relationship. That's when she got defensive and accused me of not trusting her. We ended up having a heated argument. During the argument, she mentioned that she had been spending time with an old friend from college. This was the first time that had come up. I asked her to explain her relationship with this friend, but she brushed it off, saying it was no big deal. I decided to dig deeper into her online activity and found a series of posts from her college friend. The posts revealed they had been hanging out more often and attending events together. It seemed very intimate, and I can't lie, I was starting to feel sick to my stomach. That weekend, my parents invited us to a family barbecue. I figured it would be a good time to address the situation with Olivia. At the barbecue, Olivia seemed distant. She spent most of her time talking to my sister rather than engaging with me. My sister casually mentioned how much fun Olivia had at a recent concert with her college friend. I was caught off guard. Olivia hadn't mentioned going to a concert. I confronted Olivia about the concert later that night, and she claimed it was just a group outing. I decided to stop confronting her and just watch her behavior instead. The next week, I found out from my sister that Olivia had plans to go to another concert with her college friend. She hadn't mentioned it to me. I was frustrated and felt like I was being kept in the dark, so I decided to go to the concert myself. At the concert, I saw Olivia and her college friend together, laughing and sharing drinks. They appeared very close. I felt a knot in my stomach as I realized this was more than just friendship. I took a couple of photos as proof, but I didn't approach them. I wanted to see how things would unfold. After the concert, I confronted Olivia again, showing her the photos and asking for honesty. She admitted to feeling overwhelmed and had been seeking comfort in her old friend. A few days later, while I was out, I came home to find her packing a bag. When I asked what she was doing, she said she needed space and was going to stay with her parents. Edit. After she left, we had a long phone call. She admitted to cheating, but said it was only once. Am I the idiot for confronting my daughter's best friend about stealing her pants and making her cry? Background. We have been family friends with the Smiths for about 4 years now. Our kids are of ages that mesh up perfectly, so it's always a good time when we get together. They are great people that we trust. They have a daughter we'll call Carol, and we have one we'll call Laura, both 12 years old. Laura is a bit shy, but she is the kind of girl who opens up and has a great time with a best friend, which Carol is. Laura is also very organized and clean. She knows where all her belongings are, and it is exceptionally rare that she misplaces anything. The incident. A few weeks ago, we had Carol over to swim with Laura in our pool. Before they went into the pool, Carol and Laura were in Laura's room. At some point, Carol started looking in Laura's dresser, apparently just browsing. Laura was a little weirded out by this, but didn't think too much of it. At one point, Carol said, "Wow, these are nice Lululemon pants." Laura had gotten them about a week prior as a special back-to-school and birthday gift, and they cost about $100. She was very excited about them. So they talked about them briefly, and then Carol put them back. The girls then went out and swam for a while, and later came back inside to change. Carol left her bag in Laura's room while they hung out for another hour or so. When it was time to go, Carol went and got her bag from Laura's room. The next day, Laura was absolutely freaking out before school because she couldn't find her pants. She looked in every drawer, looked in her sister's drawers, and looked through her dirty clothes in the laundry room. Everywhere. The pants were nowhere to be found. We certainly didn't want to assume the worst of Carol, but somewhat related, Laura did mention that Carol was wearing a different friend's Crocs, which she said she had borrowed from that friend. So my wife and I decided my wife would call Carol's mom and have the old benefit of the doubt conversation, asking gently if maybe Carol had mixed up Laura's pants with her stuff. Carol's mom said she asked Carol about it, but Carol said she didn't have the pants. So we returned to the theory that they were misplaced. But several weeks passed, and we still didn't see them. Again, it is very unlike Laura for something like this to happen. The awkward yesterday at school, Laura saw Carol wearing what suspiciously looked like her Lululemon pants. She noticed the logo on them on the lower back, the pocketless design that her pants had, the same color, etc. She was pretty sure they were hers, especially considering the implication in Carol's first reaction to them that she herself didn't have pants like that. She asked Carol about the pants, mentioning they looked a lot like hers. Carol seemed uncomfortable, and it appeared she was trying to hide the logo on them. At one point, Carol lagged behind the group of friends they were in, and it seemed like she was trying to fold the top of the pants down so the logo was less visible. Laura had previously told another friend named Sarah about this incident, so Sarah was keeping a close watch at this point too. Later in the day, Carol, Laura, and Sarah were in class together, and Sarah observed that the logo had been cut out of the pants, which was definitely done since they had seen her in those pants hours earlier. Laura took a look and saw the same thing. My wife and I discussed it at length and decided that even if this creates an awkward wedge between our families, we will call again and mention what Laura witnessed. So my wife called Carol's mom, who at the time was in the middle of a school-related event. So when my wife explained the situation, the response was, "Huh? Okay. I will check later tonight and get back to you." It seemed a little more casual than she expected. Today at school, Carol seemed the same as usual, like nothing had happened. There was no mention of the pants, no mention of her mother talking to her about it, nothing. Laura, being the non-confrontational person she is, didn't say anything about it either. We have not heard from Carol's mother either, and it has been over 24 hours. Now what? So now we are not totally sure what to do. Do we wait another day or two? Do we call a third time and up the rhetoric a bit? My wife hasn't used the word stolen yet, but that's only because we thought the hint, so to speak, was obvious enough that she would at least tell Carol, "You need to give those back." Do we just let it go at this point and cut our losses? We had already set up a date to have their family over this Friday for dinner, so now we are kind of dreading that, because if we don't say something between now and then, and they don't say anything to us, we are going to have that in the back of our minds the whole time and not be thrilled about it. Not to mention, we can't trust Carol in our house because who knows what she has her eyes on next. What's the best thing to do here? My daughter's friend stole her expensive pants, wore them to school, and cut the logo out of them to try to hide the evidence. We've called the friend's mom about it, but we haven't heard back. Not sure what to do next. Names of everyone changed. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Wow, this is tough. I'd call today, or have your wife call if she's more comfortable and say, "Hey, did you have a chance to talk to Carol yet?" Here's the thing. Mom must have seen the pants on Carol when she came home, or even when she left for school. She knows she didn't buy her a pair of $100 Lululemons. So if she says, Carol doesn't know anything about it, that's when you have to step it up. You say, "Well, Carol's mom, did you see the pants she was wearing? If not, did you check her backpack?" Because several people saw her in an identical pair of Lululemons, and then later, after she was confronted, she cut off the logo. I am sorry to say this, but we are certain that Carol took Laura's pants without asking. This is a big deal. You guys have done nothing wrong, and if Carol's parents won't hold her accountable, you should not let it go. I'd rescind the invitation. This is a problem. I feel for you as a parent, but we can't have a child we can't trust in our home, especially if her parents are enabling her and won't hold her accountable. Hopefully, Carol's mom is just reeling from this very unsavory new development and will deal with it appropriately when she gets a minute to collect her thoughts. I hope she's not like some of today's parents who refuse to admit there's a problem with their children. Comment 2. I'd talk to Laura and see how she feels about the situation around dinner on Friday and follow her cues. If she's uncomfortable, I'd just call off the dinner now. Just tell Carol's parents that since there hasn't really been a resolution with this pants situation, and how Laura and her friends are convinced Carol has taken Laura's pants without permission and then lied about it, we're not convinced it's a good idea to have Carol and Laura forced into close proximity during the dinner on Friday, as it would be highly uncomfortable for both of them. I would contend with the way her mother brushed it aside so quickly. This has 100% happened before. Now for the update. 2 days after the last post, the planned dinner with the Smiths arrives. The narrator and their wife decide to address the situation directly with Carol's parents. The night of the dinner, my wife and I were super nervous. Like I said, we had decided to address this whole Carol situation head on, and it was going to be awkward as heck. We arrive at the Smiths' house, and Carol's mom greets us at the door, all smiles and happy vibes. Honestly, she seemed totally oblivious to the fact that the air was super tense. The dining room was set up like it was an episode of some fancy cooking show, but it felt off. You could feel the tension, like a weird cloud just hovering over everything. Then there's Carol, sitting next to our daughter. And get this, she's wearing a brand new outfit. I mean, come on, it's like she wanted to draw attention to herself. The whole dinner, I noticed she didn't make eye contact with our daughter once. It was like she was avoiding her on purpose. So, we're all sitting there, trying to make small talk, and my wife casually brings up the fact that Laura's still missing her pants. Carol's mom just laughs it off, saying it's just kids being kids. Meanwhile, Laura is sitting there, getting more and more uncomfortable as she watches Carol fidget and squirm in her seat. My wife, trying to lighten the mood, cracks a couple of jokes, but honestly, it didn't help. The atmosphere was still super awkward. As dessert was being served, Laura's phone buzzed, and it was a text from her friend Sarah. Laura leans over to show my wife the text, and what she showed her pretty much confirmed that Carol had taken her pants. Laura's eyes widened, and she couldn't believe it. I looked over at Carol, and her face went completely red. You could tell she was embarrassed, and she tried to change the subject. Carol's mom, of course, wants to know what the text says, and Laura hesitates for a second before finally blurting out that Sarah had seen Carol wearing the cut pants. You could hear a pin drop at that table. The laughter and jokes disappeared instantly. Carol's mom went from all laughs to dead serious in a heartbeat. Carol, trying to play the victim, claims she borrowed the pants without asking. I couldn't just sit there and let her brush this under the rug. I had to stand up for my daughter and confront Carol directly. I reminded her that borrowing without permission isn't just a little mistake, it's a big deal. Then, Carol's mom jumps in, saying it was just a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding? Seriously? I told her that it wasn't just about misunderstanding, but trust. My daughter trusted her daughter to be responsible, and look what happened. The atmosphere was thick, and it felt like a volcano was about to erupt. Carol's mom was getting defensive, and I could see Laura was really upset. I knew we needed a break from that table. My wife and I decided to take a breather outside. The backyard was quiet, and we could finally talk without a million eyes on us. We discussed how to handle the situation next. My wife suggested we should leave immediately. I agreed, but I wanted to confront Carol one last time. We head back inside, and I find Carol sitting in the living room. I tell her that stealing is serious, and it's not just a little mistake. She starts crying, saying she didn't mean to hurt anyone. I told her that actions have consequences. That's when Carol's mom walks in, all demanding to know what the heck is going on. I explained the whole situation and how it made Laura feel. Carol's mom starts accusing us of overreacting, but I was done playing nice. I told her that we're leaving and that we can't trust Carol anymore. As we were heading out, something caught my eye. I spotted the missing pants in a pile of clothes in the hallway. I walk over and grab the pants, holding them up for everyone to see. Carol's face was horrified. Her mom tried to smooth things over, but I was done. I walked out, telling Carol that her actions would have repercussions and that she should be ready for them. Edit. We left the Smiths' house and drove straight home. Laura was pretty upset, but also relieved that we stood up for her. The next day, we got a call from Carol's mom wanting to discuss the situation. We agreed to meet her at a public cafe to talk things over. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.